Welcome back to Viewer Battles. This is now officially season 2. Now before we start I want to say something real quick, and that is, that we only have 8 main episodes left of the series. You heard me right. So everyone will be more restricted with time, so everyone will have to act fast. Anyways, the very last episode of Viewer Battles is gonna be a prequel explaining how this all started, what happened to make the viewers rule these nations. Anyways, onto the video. We will start with Majapahit. Military. I will deploy my navy to strategically block trans-Pacific trade routes, positioning our vessels at key choker points to monitor and control maritime traffic. This operation will involve the mobilization of a significant portion of my fleet to ensure a robust presence in the region, effectively creating a barrier that hinders access to critical supply lines. All foreign vessels passing through the region will be warned to turn back or face consequences, including vessel seizures, imprisonment of the crew, and missile strikes if the vessel refuses to be boarded. Diplomatic. I will fund multiple terrorist attacks in Imperium territories in India, Africa, and Central America. These attacks will include bombings of government buildings, blockades obstructing military ground forces from efficient mobilization, and assassinations of government leaders and figureheads. We will also use rebels we have previously funded to incite rebellions in previously mentioned regions. Economic. I will significantly increase the production of naval vessels by leveraging my vast rubber and spice industries. This effort will include the establishment of new shipyards and the expansion of existing ones to maximize output, ensuring that we can rapidly enhance our fleet's capabilities and maintain a formidable naval presence in the region. Internal. I will launch a campaign of pro-military propaganda aimed at bolstering public support for our military initiatives. This will involve the creation of media materials, public events, and outreach programs designed to highlight the importance of our military strength and the benefits it brings to the nation, fostering a sense of pride and unity among the populace. Research. I will direct resources toward the advancement of electronic warfare technologies, focusing on developing systems capable of disrupting enemy communications and electronic systems. This research initiative will explore various methods to enhance our operational capabilities in electronic engagements, positioning us to effectively counter any technological threats that may arise. Bonus action. We will put out a public statement aimed at Mexico. We did not fight through fire and ash, through nearly 500 years of colonization, Britain, Holland, Germany, Portugal, and Japan, just to submit to the most recent of imperial scum. We will fight to the last man, woman, and child to defend our mighty land. Long live Majapahit. While I say this is very controversial, it is still very epic. I like your style, Majapahit. Anyways, yeah, someone has to step up sooner or later. Let's hope Majapahit lives until the finale. Anyways, on to Japan. Military. The RISI satellite will be ordered to be used on central Mexico, centered on Mexico City, and affecting the major cities of Ecatepec, León, Puebla, Zapopan, etc., as the radius, roughly the size of Afghanistan, covers the majority of the urbanized area in Mexico, the nervous system and brain of the country. The EM produced by the satellite will have the following effects. 1. Communication to and from the affected radius will cease entirely, causing an inability for military orders, reliable information, or coordination with other Imperium states to occur. 2. All internet within the radius will shut down. 3. Out of the hundreds of commercial and military Mexican airplanes in the affected radius, at least 60% of them are electric. These will fall out of the sky like flies, hitting city buildings, highways, bridges, and skyscrapers, causing a large amount of damage without any real way of prevention. When Bruce Isney wakes in the morning and looks out of his window, he will find his kingdom in flames. The use of the satellite will completely paralyze Mexico's intelligence, military command center, and internal infrastructure, leaving the country in a state of panic and disarray, unfit for a proper defense against the oncoming attacks by Argentinian forces, or for the fleet of Union military vessels crossing the Pacific to reach the Mexican shore in a matter of days, prepared to invade the mainland if a surrender is not accepted. Diplomatic. The East Asian Socialist Union will declare war on the Mexican Imperium on the basis of deception, schemes of world domination, and a plot against the New World Order, as revealed by the Imperium State of Argentina Brazil. the Empire of Mexico will be asked to surrender, along with all of its associated states, and all members of the NWO will be asked to side with the Union in this conflict, with the following statement given by the North Premier during his speech announcing the war on Mexico. Jesus Christ, this is working. You guys have created a Mexican Imperium civil war. Keep going you guys, you can take them down. Japan went from being nuked to using the new weapon of mass destruction. I do not know if this is an upgrade or a downgrade. I guess it will change depending on how and who looks at it. Now on to Egypt. Military. Egypt will release 250 of its Air Force jets, air raiding major cities across what was previously Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Kenya, the most force being done to the cities of Asmara, Addis Ababa, Kampala, and Nairobi. Egyptian ground forces will push into Somalia using tanks and support from bombing planes to wipe out large concentrations of Somali military before their camps and fortified locations can be occupied. Diplomatic. Egypt will declare war on Somal, announcing that they are on the side of the ISU during this conflict with the Imperium. Somal will be asked to surrender as soon as possible to avoid a continued battle. Internal. Egypt will release multiple bombs planted on Egyptian spies in positions of power in the Somali court. These bombs, located in cellular devices, are left in important locations around the royal buildings in Mogadishu, as to maximize their destructiveness, while avoiding killing an unnecessary number of people. This is meant to be a warning to surrender or else fight a war that would be pointlessly fatal. Economic. Egypt and the ISU establish a new trade route through the Red Sea, as the Egyptian Navy officially closes passage through the sea with a naval barricade at the entrance, simultaneously blocking off Somali trade ships from entering or exiting, causing a food crisis in Somal. Research. The Egyptian president announces the development of a new kind of ground vehicle, which will be set for deployment later in the year, if a truce between the Union and the Imperium cannot be attained. Further details about this technology will not be disclosed. Jesus, you guys are shredding Mexico apart. Even though Egypt isn't owned by a viewer anymore, while it is technically owned by Japan, it is still as fightful as ever. Keep up the great work. May I also note here that you guys are making bank as well, which could in theory pay for a third of the war effort, and in the future, depending on how long this happens for, it could pay for the whole war. So not bad at all guys. Anyways, our good old pal Argentina. Diplomacy. I will declare independence from Mexico and I will plea the president of the NWO to stop its members from partaking in the conflict on Mexico's side. My puppet and close friend, Bolivia, will join me in the rebellion. I don't want to attack Bolivia, so, I'm stating that, military, I will declare war on Mexico and I will lead a naval fleet of 50 ships. 30 on the east coast and 20 on the west, up to Central America, with the following orders. Missile strikes on Mexican naval forces along each coast will be deployed from said ships, before moving in to capture the following cities: Nagana, Chita, Puto Limon, Punta Arenas, Belize City, and San Salvador. Once these are captured and occupied over a 24-hour period, ground forces, roughly 1,800 troops per ship, plus 10 armed land vehicles including tanks and mobile artillery per ship, will deploy inland to siege the cities of San Miguel, San Jose, Santiago, Belmopan, and Tegucigalpa. Once this is accomplished, it will form a blockade preventing Mexican military from moving through Central America and effectively cutting the country in half. I will also use the troops I have inside of Mexico City and attack the city, trying to secure the city. Also, we won't attack innocent people in the war, only soldiers and people who try to attack our military. Internal, I will start a mass production of propaganda posters and shit, so we can recruit as many people as we can to join the military, even in Bolivia too. Economic, I will invest a lot of money into my military budgeting. Science. Research, I will research the lasers from Star Wars and Stormtrooper outfits with the tech Mexico given me, and ones I smuggled to the ISU and other countries. I will also use steel and non-LNS tech to build and research the outfits also. Brazil united with me, not the Amazon rainforest part, so I'm now the Argentine and Brazilian Union. Well, now with your independence you will be smashing through South America, and pretty soon the Imperium might be completely gone. as without South and Central America, as well as Africa, Oceania and some parts of Mexico proper, it cannot support a war effort to stop this. Argentina Brazil will live on in glory. Now to check out Russia. Military, I will bomb Finnish bases and cities, maybe even sending troops to fight after the bombs have dropped. Diplomatic, I will attempt to get China and Turkey to ally with us and aid us in the wars we have. Economic, fund war efforts and war research. Internal, fortify my border with Finland, maybe even evacuate towns in preparation for invasions. Research and manufacture signal jammers built to block or even intercept signals in a large radius. These will be small but deadly. The reason for their size is for them to be placed on trucks and planes, intercepting signals as they move across enemy territories. Russia in our timeline has done horrible at war, but this version of Russia might just have what it takes to take down Finland, assuming they did go through with a ground invasion in Finland after the bombing. Helsinki should be in Russian hands within a few weeks. Great job Russia. Next, to meet up with New Oceania. Military, we declare war on the Mexican Imperium and begin to blockade their supply lines as well as military transports with our wide-ranged navy. Several bombers would be sent into already opened Mexican African land, followed by tanks, ground bombers, anti-planes, artillery, and foot troops. The New Oceanian government also declares war on Somali, but we would simply push them back as to avoid too much damage. Multiple Navy and Air Force assets would be launched at Mexican Madagascar into order to seize the territory. New Oceania would send aid to Argentina and the ISU in order to help them with their wars. Diplomatic, we declare independence from the Mexican Imperium and sever all previous ties to the Mexican Imperium. Public announcements will be made globally by the New Oceanian government in order to showcase the evil of the Imperium. We would aid the Majapahit and their terrorist funds. Economic, we would temporarily reduce funding for other industries and focus on our military production, such as mass recruiting, ship construction, tank construction etc., as well as a massive amount of ammunition production. Internal, we would start multiple pro-war and pro-military propaganda campaigns aiming to target the strong and capable population into joining the war effort. We would also ensure that citizens are on our side and do not start riots. Research, we would make a joint effort with the Majapahit to use the Alinese technology we received to mass improve our weaponry and technology in general, providing a significant boost over the Mexican Imperium. Oh my, this will collapse Somali for good, down to our good old chum Britain. Internal, after nearly 400 years of consecutive rule under a wilting crown, in a landmark decision, Parliament decides to put down the dying concept of the British monarchy. The king is told to abdicate, and the prime minister becomes head of state. Diplomatic, the prime minister will negotiate a military alliance with the Danish, citing that since the world is in such great turmoil as of the last 50 years, we must stick close to survive the crossing into the unknown future. Military, we will block the Baltic Sea using Denmark and our power over the North Sea through our eastern coast, and influence in the lowlands and Hanover. We will begin bombing raids on Oslo and Stockholm to paralyze the Finnish puppet state of Sweden/Norway. Economic, we will begin to take wealth from the rich and redistribute it. The crown's many riches will be divided across the land, especially in poorer regions. In the starting steps shifting to socialism. Research, we will join the joint research program formed by Oceania and Majapahit. Assuming we are accepted in, well, an anti-monarchy move was gonna happen, no matter what, so good a job for not stalling it for too long. And now ironically the distribution of golden money would cause a recession. Well, maybe. For now it won't, but it could have. The saving factor is the current world war, which would nerf things back. Anyways, let's see what the Mexican Imperium has to say. Down to the last guy for the episode. Somali. Economic, I'd make it easier to get loans for the low middle level businesses. Internal, mental health resources, counseling services, provide access to mental health professionals for stress and trauma management. Peer support programs, encourage camaraderie and peer support systems. Physical well-being, adequate supplies, ensure access to food, medical supplies, and comfortable living conditions. Fitness programs, promote physical activity to help manage stress and maintain health. Point community engagement, family support, maintain communication with families of service members to ease anxiety and strengthen bonds. Civic activities, involve the community in supportive actions such as care packages and events. Thanks Bruce. Militaristic. Since I've recruited and trained the amount of troops. Diplomacy. I'll be sending a group of 7 diplomats and they are being provided protection by the SSF or Somali Special Forces. Science research. With Mexico permission, I'd like to ask for some alien corpses for research purposes.